All right. So we're super excited to have you on, Adam. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And I know you're a group insurance director, and off camera, we got talking about some really interesting things. So I'm excited to chat. Right off the bat, can you tell me what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm a group benefits broker or agent. I work with companies to support them designing their benefits plans, restructuring their plans, and helping the employees that work there as well with accessing their coverage, helping them with issues or anything like that. But that is it. Group benefits through and through. Also some RSP plan as well, but that's my day-to-day.
And what do we need to know about benefits packages?
Yeah, it's a great question. So employees across Canada, I think there's a huge knowledge base of people that know a lot, but there's also like sometimes you think you know a lot and you don't. And what you need to know is like when an employer gives you a group benefits plan, it's there to use. It's also there for insurance. Like there are insurance programs, but a lot of the benefits that an employer gives you, they're doing it because they do want you to access it and use it. And there's a variety of things on the plan, but there's so many things that are heavily utilized and there's things that are underutilized. But the way that benefits have just changed in the last 5 years, employers are giving employees much more than they used to. And I think employees need to learn how to unlock some of those things because they're there for them. And I think it's a big education gap for some people. And
what are we were just talking about this off camera, but like what are some of the most common things people are asking you about when it comes to their benefits? Yeah, so the most common thing is hearing things like, I need more, there's not something for me. And the first question I ask people when they say that is, do you have a health spend account or do you have a taxable spend account? And if the answer is yes, then there's something for everybody. So a health spend account, often when I look at the spend for the year with a client, you'll see that it's only 30, 40% utilized, meaning the dollars available to the team were only used at 30, 40%. It makes sense if the plan is really, really good and you don't need to unlock those dollars. But imagine somebody who has a bad back, needs a little bit of extra physio treatment, mental health, very topical today. It's very expensive. So it's hard to believe that there would be dollars left unspent. And especially on the taxable side, taxable spend could be used for anything. So I have a feeling everybody has some receipts hanging around that they can put through an account like that. So it's really just understanding what's there. And you'd be surprised how many people, even though they get a summary, a book, they have access to presentations, they forget that these accounts exist. So it's just utilizing what's there and really untapping those things. That's like the least of the things that people can claim. There's so many other things on plans that are available. Yeah, and I heard Botox is covered. Yeah, like we can go back and forth on this. So Botox is my favorite one because a lot of people don't know certain medications. They're supposed to be covered for certain things, but let's go through the gamut. If somebody says, I have a Botox claim and it's just for cosmetic, if you have a taxable spend account, you can actually put it through there because technically it's taxable back to you. So the company can have it as a deduction and you can use it. If you're using it through the medical plan, some plans would include it. So if you just think about having your, the old school prescription drug card, if you have that and you have an approval to use it medically for compression headaches, any sort of migraines, things like that, you usually need a special approval, but then it just runs through your drug plan. So let's say you're a company that has $5,000 of prescription care. You can actually put the Botox through that $5,000 of coverage, which is fantastic. And then if your plan doesn't cover it or you're still needing it medically, but the plan limits your access to it or you hit your maximum, the health spend accounts all cover them as long as it's for a medical reason. So if you get a doctor's note and a prescription, typically the prescription's fine because then it's medically needed, you can run it through your health spend account and would all come back to you. So the days of saying like things like Botox aren't covered, it's here, but typically anything that is on that taboo side, you need a medical reason. Like if you can see me in real life, I can probably go for a hair transplant, but you can't get a hair transplant covered because it's typically not medically necessary. That would be a taxable spend side. But somebody who would need, alopecia medication because they needed that type of medication for hair regrowth that comes with it, that would be covered. So there's different things that are covered for different reasons, but typically if it's medically necessary, you can run it through the plan. Yeah, it reminds me of a friend of mine who had TMJ and she got Botox
on her, like at her jaw. So that sounds like an example of where you get a doctor's note, use it medically.
Great example. And that's more on the dental side. So on the dental side, a lot of times Botox is covered through the medical side. So you need to do your claim differently in the system. That's kind of like Benefits 301. But yeah, if you have TMJ and you're having issues with your jaw, that would be a great reason to need Botox, and it would be covered under the plan and the health spend account side. So that's like, there's so many examples of things that people don't typically think of. And Botox is like the most common one today for treating migraine medication. I would say 5 years ago, TMJ was probably the number one reason for it. So it changes over time too of why people need it. And our the medical world is expanding too. There will be more reasons for it. One pro tip to think about, there is multiple strands of Botox, but if your doctor approves you for one of them, there's a drug identification number. If you're then prescribed a different one, it won't go through your plan. So you have to make sure that whatever you're prescribed is what's given to you, same like any other medication, and that's on the main plan side. So if you're thinking about, you have headaches and things like that, you generally need to go through some steps to end at Botox. But yeah, it would be absolutely covered depending on the plan that you have at your company.
Good tip.
Yeah.
And the last question here, how can our audience find out more about you and your work?
Yeah, so for me, the best way to find me is probably, there's 3 great ways. So you can go on LinkedIn and find me, Adam Singer. I'm probably the only Adam Singer that pops up as a benefits broker. You can go to my website, which is singersteinberg.com. You can find me there. And you can kind of, some people might already know me through the guy who does their insurance at their company, and they have my email already. But yeah, those are the best ways to find me and engage with me.
Awesome. This has been so fun. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I love talking about this stuff, whether it's employer-based, just stuff like this. So yeah, thank you for having me here. It was awesome. Very fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was Adam, everybody. Thanks.
We had lots of tips in this episode. GST, HST benefits, and so many other government benefits back at the grocery store, and of course your work benefits. Depending on your situation, these things could add up to $2,000 a month in savings.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us at Neo Financial on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn.
And don't forget to sign up for the Get newsletter.
Want your question featured? Hit us up at theget@neofinancial.com.
Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.